Shout out to everybody on the live. Appreciate y'all tapping in. We're gonna rock and roll a little bit. We on multiple platforms today. So shout out to whatever platform you're joining on. This is gonna get a little interesting this morning. If this is your first time on my live, again, welcome. For all my day one people that's been rocking with me for a minute, I appreciate y'all always tapping in, no matter when, the random times that I just pop up live. If you don't know who I am, though, I go by Zabo103. I'm the dude that get on these live platforms, and realistically, y'all, I just try to provoke thought. What's up, family? I believe that if you think, if you research, and you take action, you absolutely, without a doubt, can win. Nothing really stops you but you. So I want y'all to check this out. And again, we on probably 6 different platforms right now. So morning to everybody, wherever you are tapping in at, whatever platform you're tapping in on. Um, I, I actually got on today, and I said to myself, like, because I know that I realistically, obviously been going live a lot over the last 3.5 years. Some platform more than others. And one of the things that I always attempt to do every time that I go live, I try to open your mind and your eyes to something that you probably have never really probably heard of before, seen before, or thought about before. And one of the things that I constantly have to remind myself is that people are going to be people. Some people are going to be very literal about some things, and then other things they're not going to be so literal. And the one thing I want people to understand is that everybody is different. I don't think I need to say it out loud, but I do need to say it out loud because people sometimes are very, very literal. What may work for you, what's up, family? What may work for you in this particular scenario, in this particular situation, may not work the same way for someone else. You literally have to blaze your own path, regardless of what you believe or what you think. And I always go back to think about all the core and you've done exactly what they told you to do, and it didn't pan out the same way. And it's simply because there are so many different variables in anything that you do that things can be different. Let me give some examples. What you might be able to do with real estate in the state of Georgia might be different than what you can do with real estate in the state of Texas or California or Chicago or wherever, because those laws can be different. What you do when it comes to doing a startup on your business, let's say you got a clothing line. You might go through the process of starting it, of getting your products for a very cheap price and printing them up yourself and doing all that leg work, and it is just that. Somebody else might have a situation where they own this. So there are going to be different variables depending on the situation. The other thing is, and this is the part that I want people to truly understand, there is no way possible you're going to be able to build this thing called wealth that everybody claim they want to build without you putting skin in the game. It just ain't gonna happen. Whether that's your time, whether that's capital, whether that's whatever it is, you're gonna have to put skin in the game. There's no other way around it, y'all. This stuff is not going to fall in your lap. I cannot stress that to you enough. The other thing you probably should ask yourself, and I find this is probably be the more common thing. So many times people will try things that they hear people talk about, and then they say, "Oh, it don't work." But it's not that these situations don't work. is that you probably not working. What do I mean by that? You can see evidence of all of these different things happening in real life. And if you can see evidence of all these different things happening in real life, it must be working for some people. I was um I was talking to a friend of mine uh about 30 minutes ago, and we were having a conversation around, the whole life insurance policy and being able to take money out of the policy immediately, and all those good things. And they were like, well, I don't know how you doing that. I don't know how people doing that, man, because you can't do that. Every company I didn't looked at, they didn't told me it's gonna take 3 to 5 years for me to get money out. And I'm thinking to myself, are you looking at stock life insurance companies, or are you looking at mutual dividend paying life insurance company? There is a difference. So, well, I didn't think there was a difference. There's a complete difference, y'all. These are things that these are the things that I mean when I say you have to put in the work, people. You have to. When you get information, it just doesn't stop there. You still have to do your due diligence. You still have to do your research. You still have to put in that sweat equity in order to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. Everything that I've done over the past 9 years, I don't want to call it the full nine because the full nine hasn't been this whole process, right? But over the last 5.5 years, everything that I've done, I've had to do more once I got into it. I only needed a little bit of the information to get started. And that's what information is supposed to do. It's supposed to lead you to researching the stuff to get more information so you can get more clarity on what it is that you're doing to the point that you have enough confidence to complete everything that you're trying to do. After you've done that so many times, guess what? It's going to become second nature. You're going to embark on new things all the time, and you're not going to have that fear in you at that point. And I understand the fear aspect of it because people tight on money. People ain't got it like they claim and they got it on social media. Not even close. People are struggling in real life. On social media, they're winning, but in real life, they're struggling. And that's an ugly situation for anybody. So when it comes to investing your money in something, you holding it real, real close to the chest simply because you still got bills. And your bills still got to get paid. So you don't want to make a decision like to ration some money out, because you ration the money out is money that you did not have. It's money that was supposed to go for the light bill, for the grocery bill. Maybe I'm buying less groceries this month to invest. I can't make that decision because I got kids to feed. I got a spouse. I got to feed. Like these are real life conversations that people are having every single day. So don't let a person like myself or anybody else on social media that's making a bunch of moves that are very obtainable for anybody. Don't let me push you into something that realistically you ain't ready for. Because the stuff that I talk about realistically, y'all, you have to make a commitment of doing it, and you got to be disciplined with it. If you're not going to make a commitment to make a lifelong journey to do these different things and commit to it and be disciplined throughout the process, don't even waste your time. The stuff that I do and the stuff that I talk about, y'all, it ain't for everybody. I promise you it's not. And I'm not going to lose no sleep over it. I promise you. It's not for everybody. It is one of those things where you have to commit to the actual process. If you're not going to commit to the process, it's not going to work. And this stuff does not happen overnight. This is a lifetime journey. A lifetime journey. You can't build generational wealth without at least one lifetime in it. It just doesn't happen that way. And I know tons of people look for that microwavable result where I can get it just like that. That's not reality, y'all. That's not how wealth is built. It takes time. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to win. You're going to lose. You're going to do all those things. It's not the illusion that's created on social media where every time you look up, that person winning. That's not real life, y'all. Anybody that's telling you that it is, run. I promise you, run. They have no clue what they're talking about. They're simply trying to convince you to put your money into them. That's the truth. The other thing is, and I was talking to the legacy builders last night over at Zabo 103 TV. I was talking to them last night, and one of the legacy builders, man, and I don't know if she's on right now, and she may be on. But shout out to her. I'm not gonna call her name out 'cause she haven't said I can share it yet. But I was so excited last night when I was sharing the stuff that I was sharing, and she shared what she shared. It was absolutely amazing to me, right? She was like, and I can tell she's scared still, but she's doing it scared, which I think is absolutely amazing to me. She went out and she's in the process of buying 5 acres of land for $15,000 in Texas. That's not 5,000 an acre, boys and girls. That's $3,000 an acre. Just FYI. It blew my mind. She said it's not too far from the lake. She just got to take her time and figure out how she going to maneuver to do everything she going to do with it. And then I start talking through, hey, look, these are the things you need to start figuring out. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't figured it out already, these are a few things that you need to go ahead and tackle. Because there's a bunch of stuff you can do with this property. And it ain't no rush. Them 5 acres of land probably gonna cost her about, ain't no property on it, $150 a year for property taxes. If that. And I'm being a little overzealous with the $150 a year. Think about what I'm saying. It ain't in no HOA, so she ain't got those fees. Got to do all this maintenance stuff. It's just woods or whatever it is, right? It is what it is, boys and girls. But what does that mean for a person like that? Well, if you've been sitting on my lives, listening to me live every year, what are you doing? You putting your money into basic living expenses, the biggest whole life insurance policy you can afford, and land. For too often, people go out, man, I went and bought some land. I bet. Man, I want to start building on it, man. How can I get some capital to build on it? Well, the process that I would do if it was me, I would wait till I build my capital up to spend my money versus going to carrying a loan trying to figure out how to build this stuff up. And while I'm holding this property by just paying the property taxes every year while I'm building my money up, I would be figuring out exactly what I'm going to do with this property, pinpoint it as I'm building my money, and then learn everything I need to learn about it so that when the time comes for me to do whatever I'm going to do with this piece of property, I can execute. But me securing the property today is going to be better because I can tell you right now, boys and girls, that $15,000 for 5 acres, $3,000 an acre out there in good old Texas. Let me tell you something. In 5 years, that property ain't gonna be worth $3,000 no more. That property is guaranteed to go up in value. Guaranteed. It just is what it is. So I'm saying this stuff to say this. Don't get on my lives just to watch me win. To watch and see if I'm gonna take some losses or whatever. Get on my live, hear what I'm talking about, go research what I'm talking about. And once you see that this stuff is truly legit, start applying it. But understand when you start applying this stuff, you have to be patient. This stuff is not something that's going to change overnight. The other thing is, I want y'all to think about this real long and hard, okay? And this is where I separate myself from all the other people that get on social media and talk about all this stuff, right? When you go out and purchase land, I don't make no money from that. When you go out and purchase life insurance policies, I don't make no money from that. When you go out decide to go and build you a trust, I don't make no money off of that, y'all. I don't make no money off of the stuff that I'm telling y'all to go do. Or the stuff that I'm saying that, hey, these are the things that I do. These are some well-kept secret. I don't benefit from you all doing that stuff. You do. Ask yourself the question. Every time you've seen a person sharing stuff, what you can do and what you can't do, it always lead back to you shopping with them. Whatever they telling you to do, that's what they do, and they're gonna provide that service or that product for you. That should tell you something. This stuff that I'm doing on these live platforms have grown to something bigger than what I could have ever imagined. I can't even front. This stuff is not about money to me. This is, at first it started off with me being petty. That's how literally these lives started out. I was being petty, super petty. I lost $90,000 to a coach. I paid that coach to think, research, and take action for me. And once I realized that that's what it was, and I started doing these different things on my own without needing somebody else, paying somebody else to think, research, and take action for me, my life changed forever. I went from making a couple $100,000 a year at the bank to making a couple $100,000 a month. These days, I can make a couple $100,000 in a day or two because I figured the other stuff out. So when this journey started and I was being petty, just getting on here, basically stunting in front of the coach, let him know you should have played the long game with your boy. When I saw how many people were having these moments of, I didn't know you can do that. I didn't think about this way. It made me think of something different. Like, man, okay, there's a lot of people out there like me that got this, this vision of changing their bloodline life forever, but they don't even know, they have no clue what to do. And every time when I started doing these live, people like, can I pay you to show me how to do them? Like, no, you can't pay me to show you nothing. I didn't realize what was happening. This is some wild stuff. So I'm saying this stuff to you. At the end of the day, when you go out and you research the stuff that I'm talking about and you make a decision to do these things and stay disciplined to do these things, you win, not me. I get joy, complete joy. And I'm going to say this again. I get complete joy of hearing people coming back saying, hey, I did this. Hey, I did that. I don't know. Tony be in and out of here. Shout out to Tony. I think Tony was probably one of the first people when I started going live 161 weeks ago that was like, hey, man, you made this statement that you make money when you buy land, not when you sell it. I didn't understand that back then. I had land that I was trying to do all this different stuff with, man, right outside Orlando, man, 45 minutes outside Orlando, man. I wasn't making no money after that. After you start talking about livestock auction, and all this other stuff, man, something clicked. Now I'm selling goat meat. Goat meat? What are you talking about, bro? Goat meat is the #1 selling meat in the world. And the goat meat business is good. I'm like, bro, what you talking about? He like, bro, I got into that business. All because you sparked something different. It is. It is. You'll be surprised. America is the only place that don't eat heavy on goat. Everywhere else you go, they heavy on it. Please believe it. It's a scary thought. Miss Linda, she like a I call her my social media mother. Because my real mother is in the upper room. Or, God rest her soul. But Miss Linda like my social media mama. Shout out to Miss Linda. Miss Linda was working down at the tax office down in Florida. Miss Linda had been down there for 26, 27 years. Miss Linda listened to me talking about all this stuff I'm talking about. Miss Linda's like, you know what? I could have been did this. Miss Linda went about 21 acres in Mississippi back in her hometown for dirt cheap. Started her little family compound and went ahead and retired. Why did she do that? That should tell you all something. All of you all have the ability to do all these things. You're one decision away from making these different things happening. But the reality of it is you don't know it because you're not used to hearing it. You don't think it's a real thing. You don't know how close you are to doing these different things that I'm talking about. And that's some wild stuff, y'all. What's up, family? That's some super wild stuff. I've been going back and forth to these livestock auctions. I got to get back out to these livestock auctions, right? Because one live we were talking through, and I was working through some stuff, but I found the company that process um the meat. Mhm. Like if you're a person that eats beef, right? You can go to a place like this. They have them in every state, every city. You can go to this place and go get you a half a cow. And if you're a household of four, that half a cow lasts you 18 months. You know, ground beef, steaks, ribs, the whole 9 yards. And it ain't expensive. If you go in direct, you're probably gonna spend somewhere around about $900. You don't need half a cow. You probably need a quarter of a cow, and that'll last you a year. Spend about 800-900 bucks for it. They already have it in the freezer bag, all sealed up nicely for you. Why nobody's talking about this stuff? Could you do that with chicken? You could. You don't understand that realistically the chicken business is big business. I ain't gonna get into that conversation because I don't want no problems on social media, but that's big business. You don't understand that. You don't understand them places where don't nobody want to live all the way out there. You can go out there and say, man, I seen 100 acres out there, man. They want $1,000 an acre out there. It ain't nothing out there. It's 100 acres out there. They want 100,000 for it. It's 100 acres out there. It ain't nothing out there. But it's $1,000 an acre. Why would I go buy that $1,000 an acre? Well, maybe because this 100 acres got 100 acres of timber on it. Maybe because this 100 acres got 100 acres of timber on it. Don't nothing need to be out there. You know that the timber company will pay you $4,000 an acre to come and cut your trees. They'll pay you $4,000 an acre. You can do the math. If I go out there and I spend 100,000 for this land, and I got 100 acres of timber on it, I can turn that into 400 grand overnight. But nobody ain't really ready to have that conversation. Well, when they cut them, then what's gonna happen? I can replant them. I can take me a few $1,000, go ahead and replant them and let them grow for the next 15 years out there where don't nobody want to live at. And in 15 years, go back and get me another 400 grand. And I'm sure in 15 years, the value and the price of the cost of the trees are gonna go up. But people ain't ready to have that conversation because people believe it only has to be one way. And that's not real life. People don't want to commit. And I'm here to tell you flat out, if you're a person that's not willing to commit, if you are a person that can't become disciplined, you will work for somebody else's last name for the rest of your life and build wealth for them instead of yourself. That's the truth. The goal should be, how do I put myself in position that I can eventually get out of this rat race? I'm going to get in a different rat race, which is a wealth rat race. But I'll be able to spend time with the people that I say I care about and love the most. That should be the goal. The goal shouldn't be, man, I got to get up this morning. I know it's Friday. I got to go fight this traffic, man. It's going to be crazy, man. Man, I can't wait to 5 o'clock, man. It's the weekend, man. I'm going to turn up this weekend. That should not be your life. That 100% without a doubt should not be your life. And the crazier part about what I'm saying is that I know everybody can't do it. Some people are meant to be workers for other people. That's just the truth. And if you're one of those people that's meant to be a worker, thank you for your service. We appreciate you. We appreciate you 100%. But for me and my bloodline, look, I had to make the sacrifice. I ain't have a choice because I said to myself, if if I make the sacrifice to do everything I need to do to build wealth for my bloodline, so they don't ever have to worry about being workers ever again in life, I'm gonna do it. Maybe you're not the person in your bloodline that can make that sacrifice, and that's okay too. But somebody has to make that sacrifice. And the real truth of all of this is too many people only care about themselves and the people that's immediately in their household. Think about that. Congratulations, Kendrick. Getting your life insurance policies. Congrats, congrats, congrats. There's a real situation in real time right there, right? Shout out to Kendrick just went and got his life insurance policy. I didn't get paid from that. I didn't get a referral fee. I didn't get no points for actually getting no policy for nobody because I don't do that. And that's a benefit to him and his family. At the very least, when he leave this planet, guess what, boys and girls? He got something he leaving behind besides debt. Think. Think about what I'm saying. This is like these are different moments that you have to just sit back sometime and really just, like I said, think. You really got to sit back and just let me think through this. Let me figure this out. All right. I know this is going to take some time. I can't be in a rush. I'm going to walk through this process. No matter how long it takes me, I know that the outcome of this is going to be amazing. So I'm going to make this happen. That's what this stuff is ultimately about, y'all. Nothing else. It's about putting your bloodline in a better position. Like when I look at all of these different things, like I look at, having businesses, amazing, generating that money, doing what it needs to do, right? Having a big old life insurance policy. They got a living benefit and a death benefit. And I'm gonna let it do what it do, right? Buying land. Why? Because they not making no more. Getting that land, let it do what it do. And the more I learn about it, the more amazed and in awe that I am. I'm just like, I feel like I learn something new about land every single day. It's almost scary. I ain't gonna say almost. It is scary. And having that beautiful trust set up, you know, that revocable trust and that irrevocable trust set up. They all matter, y'all. I know you got people running around. Hey, I got my revocable trust. I'm straight. Yep, you're not going through probate. That's amazing. The protection you need lies in that irrevocable trust. And there are so many different variations of irrevocable trust. Every irrevocable trust basically is different. You need to start digging into this stuff so you can understand it. Why? Your bloodline depends on this stuff. Your bloodline depend on this stuff. Like I had got out of, talking about, the current event stuff like everybody else do because I was just like, it doesn't make sense. But then I was like, hey, look, I can dig into this stuff a little bit more from a different angle. You get it? And that's the part that's crazy to me. Like when I look at things like the Diddy trial. And if we're gonna call a spade, nobody wanna have this conversation. Diddy been locked up right at about next month, I think it'll be a year. Right? But for all intents and purposes, Diddy beat the feds. He absolutely beat them. No matter all this stuff that we looking at, he absolutely beat them. Even if they wind up saying, hey, look, you got to sit down for another year. It's okay. He beat them. It was better than him doing life. And he didn't complete it majority of the hard part at this point. How did he beat them? It's unheard of. It is unheard of. But why is it unheard of? Did he beat them because the things that he did with the money was all up under law-abiding citizen things? I want y'all to pay attention to what I just said. It was all up under law-abiding citizen things. See, what that case taught me is, if you get in trouble with the feds, the very first thing they're gonna do is attack your money. If they can prove that your money is attached to any criminal activity, they can freeze your money. They can freeze it, and you can't fight. But if you got the money to fight them, you just go on to trial, right? Everybody that we done seen that go to the feds, they usually take a plea. And the reason why they take a plea is because they ain't got no money to fight. And they know they're going to lose. But did he prove if you got money to fight, you can beat them? Ain't that wild? How the hell did he have money to fight when they were looking for his money and they looking for all this different stuff? They couldn't find nothing. He didn't have nothing in his name, y'all. Well, it was all in his mama name. You really believe that stuff was in his mama name? Don't be silly. Because if it's in somebody's name, it can get attacked. Well, if it was in his revocable trust, it's private. If it was in his revocable trust, it still can be attacked. Even if it's in this revocable trust, it still can be attacked. Did he had that? He had a trust, but I'm almost certain it was irrevocable. I'm almost certain it was set up in a way where he wasn't a trustee or a grantor on that trust. I'm almost certain of that. Almost certain of it. Why? Because he put this layer of protection around him. Now, when most people see this and hear this, man, you talking about ways to be defended. No, I'm not. I'm explaining to you how you protect what you're actually trying to build. If you're not breaking no law, you're not having Diddy parties and doing all this wild stuff. It doesn't matter. You still have to protect yourself and the stuff that you build. You get it? These are the times when I say, hey man, people be so literate at times and people just don't read in between the lines. So you got to be kind of just put this stuff out there. There you go. You got to know when to operate in public and when to operate in truly in private. That's where people mess up. That's where people run into trouble. And I sit back sometimes and I watch this different stuff, and people get caught up in what people own. You don't own nothing. You don't own this. You don't have this. You don't have that. I'm like, you're right. I don't. I don't own nothing. I don't have nothing. My net worth is zero. But I'm not getting up going to work. I'm not even, the businesses that I'm a member of, I'm not even getting up going in those offices. That has to mean something. That has to make you think. Well, that means you out here scamming and hustling. Scamming who? I ain't asked none of y'all for no money. You get it? So I'm sharing in this moment that you gotta commit to these processes. You cannot keep sitting back thinking that things are just going to change if you do all this magical thing. Listen, the more you trade your time for money, the more you're going to lose. I don't care if you work in a job. I don't care if you have a business. I'm going to say it again. The more you trade your time for money, you're going to lose because you're going to run out of time. We all are. You have to start learning how to trade your money for time, not your time for money. There's a difference. Poor people believe the primary use of money is to pay bills. Wealthy people understand the only use of money is to make money. It has no other purpose. Zero. When I started looking, and I've been, lately digging into a little bit more because I've been meeting with my tax attorney, and we've been having just a crazy little powwow. I'm like, why you can do this and you can't do that? Well, how you can do this and you can't do that? He was like, because that's just the way the laws are set up. So you're telling me there's a way that I can never earn an income again and I'll be set for life regardless? Yeah. Wait. That don't make no sense to me. You're telling me there's a way I can never earn an income again, ever in life again, and I'll still be set for life? This stuff is wow. This stuff is wow to me, y'all. Yeah, Lux, you want some. And then it clicks, something that I've seen my whole life, and we never paid attention to it. And this is where people get in trouble. People believe they're going to invest their money and make double their money every time they do it. People believe they're going to invest their money and make 70% off their money, 80% off their money, 50% off their money. If you tell somebody, hey, you can invest your money, you're going to make 5%, you're going to make 8%, you're going to make 10%, you're going to make 15%, you're going to make 20%. People are like, man, I don't want that little bit of money. That ain't no money. You missed it. You missed it big time. This is the reason why people go, I'm not going to use the term, but they go trade they stuff on this, in this area to make that quick money because they think, man, I got a 200% return. Wealthy people don't get those type of returns, y'all. Y'all know that stuff, right? Amazing return on your money is amazing. I mean, absolutely phenomenal amount of return on your money is 15%. That's absolutely amazing. Don't ever get it twisted. Stop listening to these fly-by-night social media people telling you they can get you 80% return on your money and 15% ain't no money. Run. And I had to have a true epiphany because when I was at Bank of America, it was so interesting to me. Everybody know who this person is, so I'm gonna say their name and shout out to him, by the way. But I never forget. This was back in 2009, 2010. I think 2010, one of them years. But I remember when Warren Buffett invested $5 billion into Bank of America. I remember that like it was yesterday. And when I looked at what Warren Buffett wanted back, it was absolutely like, I was like, that wasn't no money, but I didn't do the math. Warren Buffett invested $5 billion in Bank of America. And I don't know all the back end stuff on the other side what he asked for, but the stuff that was public was that he was going to get 20% return on his investment. It's unheard of, y'all. He invested $5 billion to get a guaranteed 20% return on his investment. Now, some people say, man, he could have got a 200% return on $5 billion. That would have been amazing. It's not real life, y'all. That's only for the people that's in La La Land. And if you don't think that's a lot of money, 20% of $5 billion is $1 billion a year to do nothing. But you're not ready to have that conversation. A 20% return on your investment for wealthy people is unheard of. 15 is probably the high end. But these are things you're not really you don't learn because everybody, let's tell the truth. Everybody that is poor, which is 99% of the world, right? Is cash driven. 99%. 99% of the world is cash driven. And being that 99% of the world is cash driven, it keeps you poor because money's not real. Just a news flash. It's not. The reason why you have a person like Warren Buffett never paying taxes and everybody get mad is only because he following the laws. And instead of you getting mad, go read the laws and follow them. Because if you read the laws and follow them, the most simplest thing that's out there right now for everybody that's on this line to understand is whether you're a business or a person, if you earn a income, you're going to have taxes. I'm going to say that again. Whether you are a business or a person, if you earn a income, you're going to pay taxes. Your net worth don't have nothing to do with taxes, y'all. Well, they billionaires. Well, you talking about their net worth. It ain't got nothing to do with no taxes. You can go to the irs.gov right now and it says it clear as this day. The people and the business that pay taxes are people and businesses that earn a income. So if I don't earn an income, that means my income is zero. Taxes on zero is zero. Well, that don't make no sense how these people live. If Warren Buffett needs money from his stock portfolio, which he never sells, he just take a loan. Loans aren't taxed. That's how the wealthy people do it. It is a loan servicing a loan that's servicing another loan. Not necessarily other people money. It's all other people money in theory, because the money that you think you have, it belongs to somebody else. You only holding your money to give it to somebody else anyway. None of it's yours. It all goes back to the original sender, and none of us are the original senders. You can do life insurance loans, but let's think of it this way. Let's say I have a stock portfolio that's worth $10 million. The stock going up and down. I'm getting dividends from it every quarter. Don't let that go over your head. I'm reinvesting the dividends because I ain't trying to earn no income. And let's just say this year, from a taking care of my bills perspective, my bills and all the other things that I want to do, it come out to $200,000 for the year. I got a $5 million or $10 million stock portfolio. Could I take a loan against my stock for 200 grand to take care of all my bills? Think. Think. So if I can do that, who's paying that money back? The stock. As the stock market performs the way it's been performing over the last decade or 2 decades or 3 decades or however long it's been, I know I'm getting easily 7-8% off my money. Even if I were getting 5% off my money, just 5. Off of that $5 million portfolio, I'm getting $250,000 of interest off of my money that's going to pay back this loan. I never earned the income. But ain't nobody really ready to have that conversation. How do you get to where you at in steps by step? I mean, the easiest thing that I can tell you to do simply is Drama Network, Zabo 103 TV. The link is in the bio. It's still pretty cheap to get in there right now. We're about a week and a half out before the app pop up. And that price is going up. That's probably the best thing I can tell you. If you want to follow what I'm doing to go through those steps, that's probably the best thing that I can tell you. But let me ask you a question. And this is me being honest, right? Why do you believe you want to get to where I'm at? Why do you believe that? Zabo103tv.com. Zabo103tv.com. But I want you to answer that question because, again, I want you to make sense out of this too. Why do you believe you want to be where I'm at? What does that mean to you? Is it that you want to be in a position to where you're not working for somebody? Do you want to be in a position where you're constantly getting knowledge? Do you want to be in a position where you're spending the time with the people that you care about and love the most? Like what reason do you believe you want to be in the same position as me? And this is what I want you to think about as you're thinking through this. Is that the same thing that you really want? What do you want in your life? That's where this stuff really matters. Don't mirror yourself off of somebody else. Mirror yourself based off of what you want. And when you mirror yourself based off of what you want, yeah, the process is similar. The processes are the same, but you're gonna blaze a path that no one else is gonna blaze because your fingerprint is gonna be all on it. Your DNA. When your DNA is on the path that you're gonna take, it's easier to accomplish. It's hard to duplicate somebody else's process. You can follow a recipe. Your grandmama that gave you that sweet potato pie recipe 100 million times, and your sweet potato pie is good, but it don't taste like grandmama's. And she gave you the exact recipe. Why? She blazed her own path. You gotta blaze yours too. What's up, family? So I'm saying that to say, look, if you want to follow my journey, follow what we got going on. We have Zabo 103 TV. Definitely go over there and subscribe. Like I just said, in 2 weeks, well, week and a half now, the app will be up. It'll be downloadable in the App Store, iOS, Android, Fire Stick TV, Roku TV. Um, it's gonna be a country club over there, y'all. It's really gonna be a country club. I cannot even like I'm containing the excitement that I have around it because this is gonna be different than what other people have experienced, and I know it is. We were talking about it yesterday, and I'll name, people are gonna be having challenges that they're gonna be doing. Shout out to the legacy builders that's over there already, the founders. I appreciate y'all. But we're gonna be having challenges that's happening. Reality TV shows are gonna air over there. Original reality TV shows, movies. We're gonna do some pay-per-view events over there too. We're gonna have some financial literacy education over there as well. We're gonna do some entertainment stuff over there too. Um, the marketplace gonna show up soon. Don't let that go over your head. I mean, it's so much stuff, and people gonna be winning prizes over there too. Whether that's capital to help them start their business, all the way to people winning houses, free and clear, and not somebody that I know. Like on most of these platforms, they they gave away a car on this platform. Yes, to their cousin, uncle, friend. The IRS gonna hit them in the head at some point. They gonna get hit in the head at some point. But the subscribers over there, they're gonna be winning full-fledged homes in real life, free and clear. Ain't no mortgage. Ain't no contingency on what you can do with this property. Do whatever you want to do with it. You can get it and sell it for all we care. It ain't got nothing to do with us. You can get it and say, oh, I'm gonna rent this property out. Oh, I'm getting this property, I'm moving my family into it. So I ain't got no more. You can do whatever you want to do. Ain't got nothing to do with us. Once we sign that deed over to you, it's yours to do whatever you want to do. So I'm saying this stuff so people understand that this stuff is bigger than me. This stuff is way bigger than me. Over there, the legacy builders over there, that community is a compassionate, loving, caring community. I can't even stress that enough. There's so many people over there with all different type of walks of life, experience, whole 9 yards, and they just giving. They doing what they do, and I am blessed to even be in a position to surround myself with those type of people. If I'm being honest, and one of the things that I'm truly excited about is that, and I said this yesterday. Most time when you get on an app like a social media app, because it's definitely not a social media app what we're building out. But when you get on these social media apps, the creators be like, man, I want to make money. And then like, you can make money on this platform, you can make money. And then you get on the platform, you gotta have millions and millions and millions of views and likes and comments and all this other stuff for you to make some real money. The affiliate program that we're gonna have over there at Zabo 103 TV, you're gonna make some real bread. You're gonna make some real bread. And if you are one of those people that's over there making real bread, I think it's gonna be something that's gonna change your life. It's gonna be enough, obviously, for you to quit your job if you need to quit your job. It's gonna be enough to give you capital to fund your business, whatever it is you want to do. And I've been talking back and forth to the team and letting them know with all the stuff we have gearing up with the pre-recorded content stuff that we have coming up that's going up over there in the next couple of weeks. We're gonna dig deep into everything, deeper than what we already was digging. We was already doing some deep stuff over there. We're gonna go a whole lot deeper than what we were doing. A lot of the behind the pulling the curtain back type thing where you like, oh man, I didn't know that I can do this for a fraction of a cost. I got a book that's coming out, Legacy Started in the Mind. It'll be published on Tuesday. You're going to be able to get it off the website, zabo103tv.com. Obviously, the link is in the bio. You don't make no money off books, y'all. I know people make you think that. The only reason why I wrote the book realistically was simply because people kept saying, you need to write a book and kind of start from the start fresh and just write a book and impact all this stuff in here, man, because people want to know where they need to start. So I wrote the book. That's what happened. But you don't make no money off no books. Just so we clear. Why? Because everybody in mom say, I'm gonna go get a copy of the book as soon as it come out. And when the book posts and it come out, the people that's buying are complete strangers. They complete strangers. And I ain't doing no media blast for it. Why? I know what's in there is powerful. You can learn something. You can get your foot in the door. So I say all that to say this. You got to get used to blazing your own path. Because what I like, you might not like. I'm a boring dude. I am truly a boring dude. And I don't like people like that. If I'm being honest, I don't. And that's kind of weird because when I was at Bank of America, I led the efforts of 459 people directly and indirectly. The building that I was in had 1,352 people up in there that I had to interact with every single day. But I don't like people like that. It don't mean I'm being mean to them or anything like that. It's just if I have the ability to avoid being around big crowds and people and stuff like that, I'm gonna do it. Anybody that know me, family, friends, the whole 9 yards, they'll tell you flat out, we can have an event coming and we'll invite Zabo. He ain't showing up. And I'm gonna tell you, nah, I'm good. I ain't doing that. I'm busy that day, I'm sure. I don't have time for that. All my time is dedicated to building my last name. And that can get boring, but it allows me to spend the time with the people that I say I care about and love the most. Every day I'm with them jokers. And that's the blessing for me. I get excited by coming down here, sitting in the movie theater and just turning on a documentary or something, or checking out a movie or something, or whatever, and just sitting back down here and brainstorming. I like doing stuff like that. I can spend 10, 12 hours a day brainstorming. And then the next day, get out there and start my research, on the ground research for a day or two. Done my day or two worth of research, come back to the house, brainstorm some more about what I didn't learn, what I didn't gather together, what makes sense, what don't make sense, what I'm gonna execute on, what I'm not gonna execute on. And then the next day I go out and start executing on all this stuff. That's what this stuff is about. It has nothing to do with anything else. It ain't about getting no likes. It ain't about getting no comments. It ain't about getting no views. It ain't about none of that. It's legacy over likes, boys and girls. That's what this stuff is about. I'm trying to break these curses off my bloodline back. I ain't got time to care about if somebody like what I did. I don't care about that. I don't care about that at all. And I'm starting behind the 8 ball. I'm a melanated man in America. Barely got a high school diploma. I wasn't raised with a silver spoon in my mouth. We ain't even have spoons some days. You know, you get the cornbread, the collard greens, and the onion, and you take the cornbread and smush it up, and you eat with your hand. Like realistically, you ain't never ate spaghetti with your hand. You ain't never ate no spaghetti with your hands. But you ain't ready to have that conversation. See, the depth of your struggle. Let me not get into that. What I will say to you is this: you got to commit to something. Whatever that is, that's up to you. And you got to stay disciplined. This stuff that I do is not pretty. It's not. It ain't the most glamorous, lavish thing that you're going to have. It's just not that, y'all. Like, anytime I go through these scenarios, when we say, hey, look, if you start here and then you go here, we go through these scenarios, people are, oh, that's amazing, that's amazing, that's amazing. 99% of the people don't ever do that with the information. We had a few, don't get me wrong. I had a few people here and there say, hey, man, my credit score went up by 30 points, 50 points, 20 points. And that's amazing. I have a few people like today, man, I went and got my life insurance policy, man, that was amazing. Hey, man, I went and bought me some land today, man. That was cool. Hey, man, I went to the livestock auction, man. And I think I'm gonna get into this whole buying cows things, man. It's big business. I didn't know it was big business like that. But every time I go through these different scenarios, people get real excited about it, but don't know action come behind it. You gotta start putting action behind this stuff, y'all. It don't work no other way. It don't work just because you know it. So I know we haven't done a scenario in about a week now. It's almost been a week since we did a scenario. So let's go through a scenario real quick. And I'm gonna tell y'all what I would do in that scenario, and y'all let me know. I think we should probably make it a little bit more conservative, like, because I know like the last couple of ones we did, I was being extreme, and it's because people gave extreme scenarios. So let's not really give an extreme scenario. Let's just give a regular basic scenario today. I think that makes sense. So we can talk about how much money I need to make in a year. Am I married? Am I single? Do I got kids? No kids? Um, Horrible credit, fair credit, good credit, excellent credit. We can come up with whatever scenario y'all want to come up with, and I'm gonna tell y'all what I would do. I just think that's fair, right? Um, and once I go through this scenario, I advise everybody to go do research on what I'm talking about, right? And once they do they research, if it's legit from what you're hearing from me talk about, if it's legit, apply it. It's really simple. Even though you have a million people say, man, if I knew what to do, man, I'll do it. Nobody ever really does it. That's the truth. Two kids, live alone, 40 grand a year. Remember, I don't want to make it too extreme, but if y'all wanted to be extreme today, we can make it extreme. It's up to y'all. It's up to you. If you want to make it extreme, we can make it extreme. So if you want to do $40,000 a year, two kids, I think that's kind of extreme. Me being honest. Um, we can do that if that's what y'all want to do. The goal really here is probably to make it closer to make the scenario as close to your real life as you possibly can. That way you can relate. If it's something too extreme, you're not going to relate to it. So what y'all want to do? How much money I need to make in a year? Y'all put it down. Whatever helps. Somebody said 60K, no kids. That's fair. Okay. That's not extreme like it has been in the past. So I mean, I guess we can do that. Your real life is extreme. Well, you should have been on here a while. Single, no income, one child. Single, no income, one child. That would be real extreme, I think. Let's do it this way. Let's bag into it. And let's make real life happen. Right? So let's make real life happen. Y'all hold up for a second. We'll make real life happen. Let's go through real life. Just based off of real life social media. When you get on social media, everybody on social media makes 6 figures a year. Everybody rich. Everybody rich. The only time people claim they not rich if the IRS involved or child support. If one of those two things involved, they ain't got no money at that point. So if we're going based off of a real scenario from social media, nobody needs no help because everybody rich, right? Well, let's keep digging into the social media stuff. Women, I'm sorry. I know it ain't no good men out there. All the men in the world ain't no good. I get it. Fellas, I understand. All the women in the world need and want your money. All the money you don't have. Lady, ain't no man no good, but you got 50 kids. You didn't make these kids by yourself. Everybody sing on social media. We got all the independent women on social media and all the independent strong men on social media too. So the lady saying the men ain't taking care of their kids, and the fellas like, nope, I don't know what they talking about. That's they deadbeat father. I take care of my kids. Somebody lying, y'all. The truth is somewhere in between. And the truth is easily recognized, right? Is easily recognized. Watch this. Every time you ask the person that complaining about women and men, are they going through these situations? They all tell you no. You with a woman right now? You got a woman family? You got a woman? Yeah, I got a woman. She a gold digger? Nah, man, I got a good woman. Well, why are you talking about all these other people? You got one that's good. All these men are dog and cheating. Okay, you got a man? Yeah, I got a man. He dogging you out and cheating on you. Why you dealing with that? My man don't do all that. Okay, you got a good man. Now when we get to the kids, it get a little tricky, y'all. Fella, I take care of my kids, man. She want all this money in child support, and the label like, he ain't seen his kids in 3 years. Now I know that's the truth. Ain't nobody confused on that. But what we have to dig back into is majority of the baby mamas that's out here in the world, and you look at they baby daddy, they got multiple baby mamas. And this might strike a nerve, ladies. Don't get mad at me. I'm sorry. I just want to be honest for a second. We're gonna absolve the men for a minute, okay? If you are a baby mama and you got more than one kid, and you got more than one baby daddy, you are having babies by the same men. It's a small fraction of men. Okay? Just so we clear. I just want to make sure we all on the same page, okay? Fellas, let me help. Let me explain something to you. I just want to make sure we're on the same page before we get to this scenario. Okay. If you're complaining about child support, and I say this with love, you're a deadbeat. I'm gonna say this again, fellas. If you're complaining about child support, you're a deadbeat, and I'm saying that with so much love, and I'm only saying that because majority of the men that complain about child support don't even have no kids. Majority of them. Child support is a gift to a man that's taking care of his kids. Majority of the states in the United States of America wants 20% of your income. So if you're making this amazing 100 grand a year, they only want $20,000 of it. And they're not even gonna ask you for the whole 20,000 because you're gonna have insurance on your kid. If you're making 100 grand a year, your insurance costs you $350 every pay period. That's $700 a month. That's $8,400 a year. They're subtracting that off of the $20,000 a year, which means if you're doing some simple math, that's $11,200. Well, $11,600 a year in child support that you got to pay. That's less than $1,000 a month. Think. So the reality of it is everybody need to grow up and take accountability, men and women. The easiest way to get out of a hole is to stop digging. Can't stress that to you enough. So for all these horrible situations that everybody in that we're calling extreme right now, know that you put yourself in this situation. Ladies, if you're dealing with a deadbeat, you were dealing with that deadbeat. Fellas, if you're dealing with a gold digger, you were dealing with that gold digger. It's on you. But you got to have some resolve with it. So everybody got to take responsibility for their own actions. Hopefully that's fair. So in this scenario, it seems like people still want to be extreme today. So I'll be extreme with y'all. That's the truth. Okay? So let's be extreme. We all grown folks. And I don't have no problem with being extreme. As a man, a father that got 6 kids, I ain't exempt. I had to have that real conversation with myself. I couldn't play. Your scenario ain't unique. Ladies, let me tell you something, and I'm gonna be clear when I say this. You got a man that don't want to take care of his kids, put him on child support. He won't keep a job. He doing all this other crazy crap. Enforce it. Enforce it. Enforce it. Don't get tired of enforcing it because he don't want to take care of his kids. Enforce it. The whole 9 yards. Mm-hmm. Lock him up. I'm saying that with love, y'all. Lock his ass up. Fellas, you got a baby mama that wants you to be back with her. You paying the little child support and she still be playing around with you getting your kid, take her ass back to court. Hold her in contempt based off of visitations. And be willing to get your kid full time. You heard what I said. The easiest way for you to get full custody of your kid. Let your baby mama keep playing around with them visitation. Take her ass back to court and enforce it. Stop complaining about child support and start complaining about visitation. The time that you spend with your kids is vital, fellas. If you are a man that ain't taking care of your kids, get the hell off my life. I'm just telling you. Ain't no excuse. I'm just telling you. It is what it is. If you are a mother that ain't willing to co-parent because you still bitter, get off my life. It's not the place. It ain't. See, the problem in this situation, and I learned this, y'all. The world is designed for consumership. You're not the American people no more. You're the American consumers. Yeah, I've heard these terms before. It's about consumership. If I can keep you separated from your counterpart, that's more consumership for this place called the United States of America. That's 2 mortgages or 2 rents. More money in gas to get back and forth to see each other, even though y'all don't want to be together. More money wasted at the grocery store. 2 light bills, 2 phone bills, 2 cable bills, an internet bill. Like it's consumership, y'all. You got tricked. It is consumership. That's your very first mistake. 2 is better than 1, y'all. You know how much stuff you can accomplish when you have your significant other sign if I can't. Do you understand how that changes the playing field completely when it's 2 of y'all doing the thing versus 1? This ain't about 50-50 on no bills or 100% on the bills. It's about going hard on everything that comes across your path. That's what's missing right now. This is the reason why people are stuck. And it's mainly because they always starting over. They go get in a relationship. They with that person. I've been with this person for 5 years, man. Why you ain't married that girl yet, man? Man, I'm just scared of marriage, man. You know, I done built some stuff, man. I don't want to take half of what I got. You ain't got nothing. I know she gonna take half for nothing, but you're going in with the wrong way. It's a business partner that you're having the relationship with. You have no clue what you can build with someone else versus trying to do this by yourself. You're going to lose. I promise you, you're gonna lose. But nobody ain't ready really to have that conversation. You know, and I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. And I'm not the most religious person in the world. The Creator created Adam and Eve, right? He created Adam first. That's what they say. We don't know if that's true. That's what they say. He created Adam first. Your father, your heavenly father, the Creator, fellas, created you. He created you. And some type of way or another, I don't know how this worked, but Adam said he was lonely. How did he even know what lonely was? But he said he was lonely. So Adam's father, allegedly, right, took one of his ribs and created Eve. Now, I don't know all this stuff like the back of my hand, but y'all get the picture. He created Eve. The father, when he wanted to communicate something, he would communicate it to Adam. And Adam's responsibility was to communicate it to Eve. I don't think people understand that. At least that's my interpretation of it. I could be wrong. It could be revisionist history. I don't know. But his story is his story, so we'll see. Then all of a sudden, the father told Adam, don't eat from that tree. Don't eat from that tree. Adam supposed to have that conversation with his old lady, not to eat from that tree. Adam decided that it was okay for Eve to go out in the world by herself in the garden alone. Some type of way, some little knucklehead, some little joker that slivered his little way into Eve's presence and convinced her to eat from that tree. Eve ate from the tree and went to the crib and gave Adam the same thing, and Adam ate from it too. Let Adam eat from it too. Now, when Father found this stuff out, he was furious. Now, what am I sharing in this situation? You fast forward out here all the way over 2025. Men have allowed their old ladies to go out to the world alone. And then mad that they out there doing things that women do. And fellas, I understand it might not be your fault, but it's always your responsibility. That's the truth. Because you're getting this stuff directly from the creator. You don't understand when you was created, one of the first words that was delivered to you, and he gave you, Eve, be fruitful and multiply. And whatever you create, you'll have dominion of it, control over it. These are wild situations. So if you can't get out of your own head with this back and forth with relationship issues, you're going to be stuck in consumership for the rest of your life. I've never seen a person on this planet that has had wealth in their family for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years that don't have a significant other. I haven't seen it. When you start to go back down that family tree to figure out where that wealth started, they always had a significant other. It never fails. They got to count for something. They can't have it wrong and you got it right. You ain't going to build generational wealth by yourself. Why? You need a generation to leave it to. That's the difference. So when I say, hey, you got to get out of your own way, you got to go look in the mirror and address all those issues that you got. You can't begin to go down that path until you honest with yourself. I had to look in the mirror and call myself a POS. Because I was a lying piece of I was flat out. I was no good. I had to have a real conversation with myself and start taking accountability for the things that I was actually doing. Not this whole thing to say it's because it sounds good on social media. Don't nobody give a damn about that. This stuff is truly about going within and addressing what you got going on inside and then starting to work your way out. As a person that didn't have wealth in his family for the last 5.5 years, I can tell you flat out, if I would have never gotten in the mirror with myself and addressed those issues that I had myself, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. It's laughable when I make posts sometime and people get all up in their feelings and don't even realize it's just a post. I don't care nothing about it. I got over 1 million followers on between all my platforms that I have, right? 95% of them are women. You ain't ever gonna catch me sliding no chick DM. Why? Because 5 minutes of fun ain't worth taking hundreds of years worth of wealth out of my bloodline mouth. It ain't ever gonna happen. Why? Because I had to get in within. I had to let go all the maturity, immature stuff go. You gotta play a different game, y'all. This stuff ain't about having the flashiest thing, having the most women, having this stuff is not about that, y'all. This stuff is really, really and truly about providing for people in your bloodline that you ain't ever gonna meet. The reason why you don't know your great, great, great grandparents is because they didn't give you a head start on life. But I can guarantee you, if your great, great, great grandparents gave you a head start on life, you would know everything about them. This is the reason why you got so many people trying to get this ancestry tree and they don't know who these people are because nobody made the sacrifice. And it sucks. Ain't you tired? You leaving this planet. My time then went up a little bit. I got 21,232 more days left on this planet. I'm going to say that again. 21,321 more days left on this planet. I'm being very deliberate with the things that I do. I ain't got time to waste. We all leaving this planet. While you sitting around playing the game trying to figure out who's at fault, you affecting your babies. I don't think people understand that. And if you're lucky enough to experience different things with your babies before you leave this planet, I'm going to tell you, you're going to understand this stuff is not about happiness. It's about joy. There's a difference. When I look back and I start to really think about this stuff, a couple of weeks ago, my oldest son got his license. We went into the dealership and bought him a brand new car. Well, we didn't buy it. He a trust fund baby. But he bought a brand new car, cash. He didn't even blink. You know how wild that was? From a person that had to go spend $1,500 on a 1983 Caprice Classic. Mom and dad couldn't help me out with that stuff. They ain't have no money. You know how insane that is? I look at my second oldest daughter who got her own business. I looked at her credit score the other day. She got an 805 credit score. Her credit score higher than mine. These are things that you need to understand because you need to start putting your babies in a position to win. And I'm not even tripping off the 805 credit score. I'm looking at how she building her business credit. Caring about no damn personal credit. Think. That's what this stuff really boils back down to, y'all. You can't keep playing yourself out of position saying that everybody gatekeeping when you're not even willing to absorb what it really is. And what it really boils back down to is you. You the issue. Ain't nobody gatekeeping from you. You gatekeeping from yourself. That's the truth. Like, let me not go there. Let me what I'm gonna say is this. If you want to change your life, you gotta change. If you want to change your life, you gotta change. It ain't really a lot you can do other than that. How do you do that stuff? Well, if you tired of being poor, now that's lemonade milk right there. If you tired of being poor, right? And you want to become wealthy. It's easy. That's really the truth. I know, like when I'm going through these scenarios and I'm trying to explain this different stuff to you, it seemed like a lot of stuff and it seemed complicated, and it is a lot, and it can be complicated if you don't make the commitment. But if you make the commitment, it's really easy. I'll explain. If you're tired of being poor, stop doing what poor people do. I'm gonna say that again because I know our overthinkers in here are gonna overthink this, but I really mean what I just said. If you're tired of being poor, stop doing what poor people do. It's really easy. You don't need a lot of capital to no capital to become wealthy. Wealth is not money, it's time. Just a thought. Okay? If you want to become wealthy, do what wealthy people do. So, what does that mean to you? You need to identify what I'm doing to be poor. You need to identify what I need to be doing to be wealthy. The very first thing you need to do to become wealthy, you need to identify all your issues. This is why getting in the mirror is the most powerful thing you can do. When you get in the mirror and you start looking at all your issues, start addressing those issues and doing away with them. Get rid of all your issues that you have. Now, this is going to be scary because I know we're in 2025 and how people tend to still think, I guess, well, my man is my issue, so I need to get rid of him. My woman is my issue. I need to get rid of her. Is it? No, I'm talking about your issues. Your issues. I'm talking about your issues. If you got to get that plant every day that come from the earth every single day, that's gonna make your make that you think that's gonna make your life better because it came from the earth. I'm just here to tell you, no matter what type of smoke you have in your lungs, it's bad. And when you decide to go get that big old life insurance policy and take that test, you're gonna have to check that box. And when you check that box, it's going to limit how big your life insurance policy can be. Your health is your wealth. The healthier you are, the bigger the life insurance policy you can get. Cost definitely gonna go through the roof. That's less money for you to invest. Don't let that go over your head. Don't let it go over your head. This is some scary stuff. Whatever bad habits that you have, get rid of it. What's up, family? It even means something as simple as you can't get your weight under control. Sorry, ladies, don't be mad at me. Fellas are overweight too. But y'all somehow have convinced fellas it's okay to be walking around with that little that little daddy stomach, you know, dead bod. That little stomach is healthy. It ain't healthy either. On you, ma'am, or him, sir. That belly ain't healthy. So you gotta get you gotta get this stuff in order. It's the first sign of showing discipline. That's the truth. That's the truth. I was just sharing with people, man. I had to gain some weight back, man. I was fluctuating between 185 and 195 for a while. 2 weeks ago, almost 3 weeks ago now, I had then jumped up to 220 pounds. I used to be closer to 280 at 6'3". You tall, so the weight don't look bad on you. I got some skinny legs with a big old stomach. That ain't gonna work. I had to drop weights. 3 weeks ago, I was at 220. Today, I'm at 201 today. Think about what I'm saying. Hear me what I'm explaining. I had to get back in the lab. I can't keep playing that game. I've been doing some little workouts, but the workout ain't what made me lose the weight. It was how I was eating. And I ain't got no excuse. I got a beautiful wife. That's all she do. I ain't got no excuse. I ain't got no excuse at all. That's the truth. But this stuff goes back to holding yourself accountable. What's up, family? The other thing that I thought about, and you need to be thinking about right now is that when it really boils back down to all of these different things that are important to you allegedly, what did your ancestors do? Whether you knew them or not. I think we all can come to the conclusion of what our ancestors did, even if we know them or don't know them. What did they do before it was money? Before money became a bartering tool? Before the little gold little coins became bartering tools? What were they trading? Sheeps, goats, cows? What were they trading? Right? But what did they do? They found them a piece of land, claimed it as their own. They got shelter, right? They went and they got, material, whatever material they can get, became seamstress and tellers and made clothes to put clothes on their back, right? They found clean water to drink and to use because the water out there wasn't really good for every piece of water that you seen weren't good. So they found ways to get clean water, right? And they went out there and they got food, hunting, fishing, whatever they needed to do, right? They went and got food, water, shelter, clothes on their back. Ironically enough, those four things in 2025, you ain't got no choice. You got to have them. You can't walk outside without no clothes on your back. And if you do, they're going to put you in a place and give you some clothes to put on. It's a place that you ain't trying to be. But you ain't going to play that game. You should have clean water to drink. And if you ain't drinking water, it's a bad situation. Let's just say that. And it's going to get worse. I don't care what nobody tell you, you need food right now. Till we come up with some other way to have some type of food intake, you need some form of food. It's going to happen, y'all. Just a must. And in 2025, you got to have a roof over your head. Just imagine for a second. I think last year they passed a law where, and they haven't started enforcing this yet, but they passed a law last year that it is against the law for you to be homeless. If you're found on public property or private property, sleep, and deemed homeless, they locking you up and giving you a fine. They haven't started enforcing this in all states, but it's happening. I heard rumbles about California is the first state that's really enforcing this stuff. It's wild, y'all. So imagine you gotta have those four things. You have to have them. So what does that mean? If you know you gotta have these four things, everything else outside of those four things are wants. So what does that mean? Everything that you claim and that you need right now today, you don't really need it. You just want it. You got first world problems when there are places on this globe that are third world countries. You have no clue what it really means. You're in a place of privilege right now. You're straight up in a place of privilege. The mere fact that you can get on a cell phone and punch in something on your cell phone. Let me punch these numbers up, and I'm gonna go watch somebody in a whole nother place that I'm not in. and I'm gonna sit and watch and see what they talking about. You in a place of privilege. You ain't struggling. The stuff you talk about ain't extreme. You know how wild it is? And this ain't towards nobody, but again, I'm just telling you the truth. It is what it is, right? Truth will never be said of disrespect. You know how wild it is for people to say that their life is extreme and they making $40,000 a year with kids? Or I make $20,000 a year and I got 4 kids. And they telling you that via their iPhone, via their Android. You know how extreme that is? You know how wild that is? You making $20,000 a year, $40,000 a year with multiple kids, and you telling somebody you have an extreme situation from your iPhone. You can't make this stuff up. That's the truth. How you're not in a place of privilege? We all know because ain't none of us slow. If I'm in a position where I make $40,000 a year and I got kids that live with me, $40,000 a year, with the exception of maybe Mississippi, maybe Alabama, you can't live nowhere for that type of money with kids. And you can't even live there with that type of money with kids. Well, I know I can't afford it. That's why I'm saying I'm struggling. It means you got help. It means you're living with someone. Someone else is supporting you. If someone else is supporting you, you are ahead of way more people than what you think. That's the truth. When I say extreme, I'm talking about, man, you ain't got no job, you homeless. That's extreme. And as y'all done seen on my lives, we've talked about how you can do this from being homeless. We've shared how you can do exactly what I'm talking about from being homeless. The issue is with people don't want to get out and do nothing. Just imagine for a second you have a job making $40,000 a year and you got an iPhone right now and you trying to figure out how to make additional money. You ain't got no capital to do nothing. You got these kids you got to feed. You on social media and you will not get on social media. Get on YouTube, Twitch, all these free social media app and just start going live telling your story and people will pay you. You just started a business. 20,000 a year. That was 1979. That's a fact. People will pay you. Y'all see what these people doing on TikTok? I'm gonna give TikTok a shout out right now. I got YouTube one. These people going live on TikTok and they just be battling people. They don't be talking about that. All right, y'all. Y'all can't let them. Y'all can't let this other team beat us, y'all. Come on, y'all. Let's get the number up, y'all. Come on, y'all. Hit me with a galaxy, y'all. Come on. And they can sit and do that all day and make thousands of dollars a day doing that. Ain't really thousands, probably. Well, it might be thousands. I don't know, depending on how much you get from it. But if you sit on there all day doing nothing, you on the internet right now. Why you ain't on TikTok battling folks? Even if you get $300 from it every single day, just 300, you get on TikTok every single day and get that little $300 from them battles that you get. You just generated $100,000 a year. Actually, more than that. If you're doing it 365 days a year, you actually generated what? Somebody do some math for that. $365,000 a year. Yeah, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm bugging. This is without even thinking. This without even doing a whole bunch of a whole bunch of research. This is without registering business with the Secretary of State. Going to get that free EIN number, going to get that business checking account, working on your personal credit. This is without all of that. And it didn't take you nothing but to open up your phone and start going live. But ain't nobody really ready to have that conversation. So when y'all say, hey, these are extreme situations, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's almost laughable because the reality of it is you are in a place of privilege. That's the truth. So let's do this real quick. Let's get through a scenario real quick. We'll do the $40,000 a year with 2 kids that live with me. I think that's cool. Clearly, I got help because I can't live nowhere. I'm probably living with my mama, my daddy. I'm probably living with my baby mama. I don't freaking know. If it's just me and they live with me, maybe I'm getting some type of public assistance, whatever it is, but I'm getting help. That's the truth. So $40,000 a year, that's cool. 2 kids that live with me, that's cool. How's my credit? I'm single as a dollar bill, that's cool. Is my credit good? Is it bad? Is it horrible? Is it fair? And I didn't mean to go on that little tangent, y'all. But again, we got to be honest with this stuff, y'all. We have to be. And you got to be honest with yourself. You're not gonna accomplish anything that I'm talking about at all until you be honest with yourself. Not with me, honest with yourself. That's the truth. Well, what does my credit look like, y'all? Good, bad, fair, ugly? What type of credit I got going on? Y'all tell me, and we'll dig into it. Bad credit. All right. All right, I got bad credit. Anything else y'all want to throw on the equation? Credit low, 500. Okay. 500 credit score. Everybody say I got bad credit. All right, cool. So let's say, just for the sake of argument, I got a 315 credit score. In order for them to put something else on my credit, they're going to have to staple it. So if your credit score better than 315, you should have no issues, right? If your credit score is better than 315, you should not have no issues. Just so we all on the same page. I want to make it simple. Okay. I got horrible credit. There we go. Anything else y'all want to add to the equation? And the scary part about this is some simple stuff. Anything else y'all want to throw out there? Are y'all ready to rock and roll with the scenario we got so far? If you're ready to rock and roll with the scenario we got so far, put a 1 in the chat. If you got something else you want to throw out there, throw it out there right now. Because once I get started, that's I'm not gonna put anything else in it. So you're on Section 8 right now. You're blessed. You're blessed 100%. Section 8, that's a blessing. I need to figure out that code so I can get on Section 8 too, boy. Or you saying I'm on Section 8? Okay. You throwing an equation? All right, I'm on Section 8. That's cool. So what am I getting for a Section 8 voucher? They probably ain't gonna give me. I make 40 grand a year, 2 kids. They might give me Section 8. It's possible, and I might have to pay a little smaller portion of it. But they might give me they might give me a $900 voucher. So I'll say, okay, Section 8. I get it. I'm on Section 8 too. Everybody else ready to go? So I'm gonna recap what we got. So I'm making 40. I'm bringing home $40,000 a year, making 40 grand a year. I got 2 kids that live with me, right? I'm on Section 8. Okay. My credit score 315. You said it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. Nah, it's a blessing. I'm gonna show you. It's a blessing. I got a 315 credit score, single as a dollar bill. All right, that's the scenario. So we're gonna say that again. I got a job. I get about $40,000 a year from it. I'm on Section 8. I got 2 kids that live with me, so I'm a single father. Single as a dollar bill. I got a 315 credit score. Ain't no hope in sight. Let's say I got 2 boys. They both in school. Let's say one of my boys is 6 and my other son is 12. Okay? 6 and 12. I got a baby mama, and she's working, she doing what she do, but we just couldn't see eye to eye, so she left. And we were super traditional, like Big Mama and Big Papa. And when back in the day, when the when the woman left the man, she left the kids with them. So that's kind of how I got stuck with the kids. So got a baby mama from my two boys, and it is what it is. But we're gonna rock and roll, right? We're gonna rock and roll. Just FYI. You work for housing? That's even better. So you already know. So I'm gonna let you keep me honest with this stuff that I'm gonna share. Okay? So this is a scenario that y'all did created for me. I don't know if this is close to someone's situation, but if you're in a better situation than this, you really should have no excuses. That's my opinion on this. And I'm always gonna say again, the best way to get out of a hole is to stop digging. It really is. The one thing that I learned in my journey is, I've tried so much stuff that it's just unreal. But the minute I started focusing on where I was putting my money, my life changed. Your money, boys and girls, only need to go into three places: basic living expenses, the biggest whole life insurance policy you can afford, and land. I just can't make that up if I wanted to. Why land? Land because they're not making no more. Land is the only thing on this planet that only goes up in value and don't go up and down. Plus, you make money when you buy land, not when you sell it. It's just a thought. Okay. That's why you buy land. In the United States, no matter what state you in, you can get land right now today still for $5,000 an acre. You're not going to be in the city. You're going to be 30 to 45 minutes outside of the major city. It don't matter what state you in. That includes California. That includes New York. That includes Chicago, Texas, Georgia, Florida. Every state in the United States of America. The only state that I saw that be going up and down sometime, like I saw a property on there yesterday, and then today it wasn't on there. In Hawaii, it's hard and rare to find land out there for that price, but it does happen. Just FYI. Why life insurance policy? Well, you get a life insurance policy that got a living benefit and a death benefit, a cash value. Your health is truly your wealth. The healthier you are, the bigger the life insurance policy you can get. You can put your money inside that life insurance policy, and you're going to get compound interest on your money daily, tax free, that you can borrow against and pay yourself back with interest. And when you borrow the money that you borrow is still in the policy, gaining compound interest daily, tax free. Hopefully that makes sense. In what situation, family? Tell me in what scenario? Break that down. What would be the reason? So I got to get me a life insurance policy because it makes sense. I just have to. I ain't got no choice. I got to be smart with it. That's just my mentality. Okay. The third thing is basic living expenses because you got to have a roof over your head, clothes on your back, food in your mouth, clean water to drink. It depends on the actual company, right? So if you deal with a stock life insurance company, they're probably going to make you wait 2 to 3 years to borrow against it. If you deal with a mutual dividend paying life insurance company, you can borrow from it typically within 30 days. As soon as you got that cash value in there, you can borrow from it immediately. They serve two different purposes. So definitely dig into those. So I know that's the route that I'm going to take. I'm going to put my money in basic living expenses, the biggest whole life insurance policy I can afford, and land. What's up, insurance goddess? So here's what I'm going to do, boys and girls. This is me. I could be wrong. This is what I'm going to do. The first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go talk to my baby mama. I'm gonna explain to her that two is better than one, and if she should come home, I didn't got my life together. I got a plan. The plan gonna work. I hope she got her life together, and she willing to come in to follow this plan because realistically, we can build a lot together. I'm only making 40 grand a year, and I'm on Section 8. This is horrible for a man with two kids. And I'm gonna find out that my baby mama got a job. You know, she making 80 grand a year. Out here living her best life. She out here living her best life. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna talk to her about her coming back home. It'll be important for her to be in a boy's life, and we can work everything out, and we can start building the right way. You know, go ahead and get married, and build this future because it has to happen. I don't care what she did. She got to forget what I did. Says she not coming back. She not. She done moved on, and that sucks. It hurts because I had a real plan. So I got to do what I got to do. And I'm gonna tell her that I wish she come back. I want to make sure she good, and we're gonna be good too. But my plan is gonna change everybody's life. But she got to come back. She got to come back. It depends on what state you in, family. Section 8, two kids. Um, it depends on where you live at, right? So, that's the scenario that they gave me. I'm only going off what the scenario y'all gave me. You get it? So, what I'm gonna do in this situation is I'm gonna beg and plead her to come back. She ain't gonna try to come back, and I'm cool with that. She done moved on. She done found her a good man, and it is what it is. I ain't tripping. So I'm gonna tell her, bless her heart. I appreciate her having a conversation with me, and I ain't mean no disrespect to her new man. It is what it is. I just need her to start being active in her kids' life. Just because you got a new man, you still got two kids. You need to be making sure you're visiting, doing what you need to do. Because I don't, you still got to be an active mother because you're their mother. And she's gonna tell me whatever, get out my face, I'm a bum, and all this other stuff, and do what I gotta do. You know how to, you know how they gonna go. So after I have that conversation, I'm gonna reach out to my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, and I'm gonna call them and tell them that we need to have a family meet an emergency family meeting, and we just gotta make this stuff make sense. And my dad and my mom, they not together, so they're gonna have to be in a room together for this conversation. But they got to do it for me because they love me, so they got to do it for me because I got to have this meeting because the meeting that I'm about to have with them is going to change all of our lives forever, just forever. Okay. So they're gonna all agree to meet with me, and I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna let they little, my mom and my dad, they grandsons, let them play around. They get an opportunity to play around with them for a little while. Let my brother and my sister get to play with their nephews for a little while. The whole 9 yards. And I'm gonna sit them down, and I'm gonna tell them that y'all, I'm struggling. I'm out here bad, right? And this is tough, and I need some help badly. I do have a plan. This is not going to be a situation where I'm in this situation forever, but I do have a plan, and but I do need a little bit of help right now for some time. But you all doing this from not just for me, but for my boys. I'm gonna change all of our lives forever. I promise y'all. And my brother, my son, like, man, you got some type of get rich quick scheme. Don't nobody want to hear that. And my mom and dad were like, well, look, we love you and care about you. We want to make sure you're good, but you really gotta get out of your own way. The same thing I just said to y'all. They gonna say it to me. And I'm gonna be like, Mom, I know Pop's got a place, but it's kind of too far from where I'm at. Your place is kind of close. And Mom, you got, the house that you and Dad was in and Dad left for you, and you got a little small little guest house too, Mom. Like, if you didn't mind, if you let me and the boys live with you, I think that would be helpful. And I promise you, we're not going to be a burden. We're going to add value to your life, and we're going to change not just your life, Mom. I'm going to change everybody's life, but I just need the help. My mom ain't gonna want to do it, but she gonna do it because I'm a son. You and the boys can stay in the guest house. For however how long you need, y'all can stay out there. And I'm gonna say, all right, Mom, I appreciate it. Now, Dad, brother, sister, I'm gonna need y'all help too. Well, you already got a place to live, so you should be straight. Get on your feet. No, no, no. I still need y'all help too. I need y'all to, I'm gonna make sure the kids are active in all of y'all life, so we can start building this community that I want to build. It's gonna happen. Well, you always trying to put the cart before the horse. Deal with this situation first, and then let's talk about the other stuff. You know how people are. And I'm gonna say, okay, tell my mom and them how much I love them for hearing me out. Let my mom know how much I love her for allowing us to do this, and I appreciate her. And then what I'm gonna do is go sit down with Mom and say, Mom, we gotta do something, Mama. We gotta do something real quick too, Mom. So what we gonna do, Mom, because you are getting up in age, we're gonna go and we're gonna get you a trust set up, Mama. And that way you can, dictate where you want your stuff to go, and we can get everything protected. And Mom, we're gonna start you a business too. Mom like, okay, the trust thing we can do, but what are you talking about this business thing? Mom, we got to set you up a business because what I want to do, we got to make it make sense. So first thing first, we're gonna go get the trust set up. It ain't gonna take much. In the state of Georgia, I can fill out this little quick claim deed form and get the properties, whatever, transferred over inside of the trust. And $355 is what it'll cost me. I'm gonna spend that little money to get my mama a trust so her stuff ain't gotta go through probate. Just a regular little revocable trust. Nothing irrevocable, nothing like that. Just pretty much to avoid her going through probate. That's pretty much it, right? And then we'll get something bigger later when I can afford it. But right now that's what we're doing. Right? And then we're gonna go and register her business with the Secretary of State. It's gonna be a real estate business. Go get her free EIN number from the IRS.gov. And then we're gonna go and get a business bank account for Mama for her business. Mama in business. Now, Mama's still kind of confused about this, but she just going with the flow because she ain't spending her money to do it, and she just like, all right, that's gonna prevent me from going through probate. All right, I got a business. What is this business gonna be about? And once we get all this stuff set up, what we're gonna wind up doing is I'm gonna let Mama know that Mama, we about to have your property resurveyed. You got realistically, 2.5 acres of land. We're gonna re-subdivide this land up. We're gonna take your property and subdivide it up, and then we're gonna take your guest house and have that on a piece on a lot by itself too. And once we do that, Mama, we're gonna take your house that you have. It's already gonna be in the trust name. Your guest house, we're gonna put that in the business name, Mama. Now you're not gonna be the person, the owner of this business, Mama. You're not. It just ain't gonna be the process. We ain't gonna do that. The business gonna own itself. It's gonna be an entity of its own. I ain't gonna go too deep in that because I don't want to confuse nobody. But it's gonna be an entity of its own. The business gonna own the actual property itself, and it's gonna be a beautiful thing. Now I'm moving into this property, Mama. We're gonna go on and get a lease agreement, the whole 9 yards, Mama. Well, why are we doing all that? You gonna pay me some rent? Well, Mama, I do get a $900 voucher for Section 8. And being that you my mama, you can't rent it to me, but the business can rent it to me. So what gonna happen is I'm gonna sign a lease with the business, and the rent's gonna be for $900 a month. So that 900 voucher that I'm getting from Section 8, I'm gonna give it to that business, Mama. You don't think mama gonna be happy to get that $900 a month through that business? I think she'll be a little bit happy. I think she'll be a little ecstatic about it. If I'm on Section 8, I'm probably getting food stamps too, boys and girls. I got 2 boys. They'll give me $400 a month for them. I don't know what the number is these days. Let's call it 400. What you think I'm doing with that $400? Mama, I know you the one cooking. Here's the EBT card, mama. Go to the grocery store. You can, get what the boys like, get what you want, and just go buy the groceries. We're going to put the grocery in the refrigerator. It's cool. So the boys have something at the crib to eat. I hope y'all picking this stuff up. I ain't even got started and touched the money yet because it's going to get crazy. Watch this. So now mama went from not getting no money for this guest house to now she getting $1,300 a month because her son had a plan. Don't let this stuff go over your head. What you think I'm going to do next? Now I'm a mosey on downtown. Put on my good shoes. Put on my nice little button-down shirt, my little slacks. I'm going to go shave myself because I can't afford to go get a haircut. I'm a mosey on downtown, my little Stacey Adams on, my little slacks and my button-up shirt. And when I get downtown, I'm going to put my baby mama on child support. I'm going to put her ass smooth on child support. I tried to get her to come back. She didn't want to come back. So I put her ass on child support. How did you get food stamp for your entity? You don't own no business. Your mama own a business. You must just got in here. Sit on your thumbs. I'm putting on food stamps. I'm putting on child support. She make 80 grand a year. I'ma get 20% of that. 20% of $80,000. If my math served me correctly, that's $16,000 a year. They gonna be on her insurance. You can take 6 grand off. That means I'm gonna get 10 grand a year in child support. Ta-da! The milk's gone bad. Now she got her visitation plan that I'm gonna make sure she follow. She can't be playing no games. You gonna be in these kids' life. We made these jokers together. I tried to get you to come home. You didn't want to. You and your new man figure it out. Because we gonna get it out the mud. While I'm downtown, since I qualify for Section 8, since y'all told me I do, because I'm getting it, I qualify for food stamps. I didn't put on child support. I'm going to try to apply for that government phone too. Sure is. Smooth apply for that government phone. 100%. I qualify. Trump gonna end all that. Until he end it, I'm on it. It don't matter to me. Just so we clear. While I'm downtown, I'm gonna go over there to the city and I'm gonna ask them, hey, look, I want to become a licensed builder. What all do I need to do to become a licensed builder? Well, you got to take the test here in Georgia, pay the $200. You need 2 years of experience. If you can work for a licensed builder up under them and they vouch for you, that will help you out a lot. I bet I'm gonna make that happen. Then when I get on home, I'm gonna start searching for licensed builders and calling them. Hey, I would love to meet you. I'm trying to become a licensed builder myself. They told me I need to work with a licensed builder for 2 years in order for them to vouch for me. And I know it's kind of random. You might not be hiring right now, but I would love to do an intern with you for free. I'll work for you for 2 years. It's probably, let's call it, I'm gonna work for you for 5 years. But in 2 years, and even after you vouch for me, I'm still gonna work for you for free for 5 years. Because I want to learn everything I need to learn about it. And I'm gonna give you my services for free. As an intern. I just need you to vouch for me when it's time for me to get my license. I don't think too many people gonna turn me down, but cool. We're gonna run it. We're gonna see what happens. Mm-hmm. Let me check that box. What's the next thing I'm gonna do? I got to deal with this credit, man. This credit is horrible. 315 credit score. This thing is the worst. I'm gonna reach out to a company called LexisNexis. LexisNexis. Somebody put it in the chat. Let me put it in the chat over here on this platform because I can do it over here. I'm gonna reach out to a company called LexisNexis. LexisNexis is a company that houses all your information. I mean, all of it. I'm gonna reach out to LexisNexis and I'm gonna tell them to freeze my Clue report and my personal file. Clue, CLUE, personal file. They're gonna try to upsell me on some extra privacy. I can't afford it. No, thank you, ma'am. No, thank you, sir. Just freeze my Clue report and my personal file. They're gonna say, okay, we're gonna send you out a PIN number in 3 days. You're gonna be able to unfreeze and freeze your Clue report and your personal file at any time. I'm gonna say thank you very much, and I'm gonna hang on up. This is gonna get crazy. On that third day, when I get my PIN number, I'm gonna reach out to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. I'm gonna start disputing. That's not my address. I never applied for none of this stuff. Validate this debt. Verify this debt. Now we all know they got 30 days to verify that information. I think everybody know that. I think everybody know. I don't think that's a secret. What people don't know is they're gonna reach out to LexisNexis to verify my information. A lot of people don't know that. What even less people know, being that my Clue report and my personal file is frozen, nothing's coming back. We all know what happened when nothing comes back, right? It's coming off my credit and it's free. Uh-oh. Just fix my credit. Let me check that box. What you think I'm gonna do after that? I'm not gonna go in the other route that I would normally go into. I'm gonna start getting to work because we still ain't attacked this 40 grand and this new $10,000 a year that I'm getting for child support. So now I'm getting $50,000 a year in some form of money that I'm bringing home. Y'all don't see how my life just changed? This is about to be crazy. So what do you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take that 50 grand. That money's going into 3 places: basic living expenses, the biggest whole life insurance policy I can afford, and land. So let me go ahead and strike these things off. Just for the sake of argument, my basic living expenses are paid for. I ain't got no rent. I ain't got no mortgage. I ain't got no utility bill. I ain't got no grocery bill. Clothes are kind of sporadic here and there. I ain't got no basic living expenses, y'all. Maybe a little car insurance. I went and got that government phone, so I ain't got no cell phone bill or no internet bill. Don't let that go over your head. So the only thing I really got left is the biggest whole life insurance policy I can afford and land. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go find me a mutual dividend paying life insurance company. You know, like Guardian, New York Life, Mass Mutual, Omaha Mutual, a mutual dividend paying life insurance company. And I'm going to sit down with that life insurance broker and I'm going to tell them to give me an illustration of every policy that they have that has a cash value on it. From it every 30 days. Don't let stuff go over your head. These are the things that I want to happen. So I want the ability to borrow from the policy every 30 days. I want to run every dime through that policy. I need it structured a perfect way to make this happen. They're gonna say, well, how much money do you bring home? It's like 10 grand, it's like 50 grand a year. I want to run that full 50 grand through there, but I want to borrow from it at least every 30 days. So they're gonna structure it out. They're gonna say, all right, we can give you this 50, we can do the $50,000 every year. That's not an issue. You're not gonna be able to borrow the full $50,000 back the first All right, we back up in YouTube, Facebook. All right, I'm back up. All right, I don't know where the last place y'all stopped because I was on a roll. Somebody put in the chat the last thing they heard me talk about so I can go back. Somebody put it in the chat the last thing I was talking about. I know I had got through LexisNexis stuff. I hope y'all heard all of that. I started talking about my basic living expense, the biggest whole life insurance policy I can afford, and land. Yeah, I know the connection bad. The internet went down. Internet been doing some weird stuff lately. Hold on a second. This weekly letter. Okay. All right. So we got down to getting with the life insurance broker. All right, bet. That's the last place we got to. We got the life insurance broker. All right, cool. Yeah, I had paused for a minute because I had a message that came up. I should be back up right now. So everybody should be good. All right, let's do it this way. Put a 1 in the chat if you can see and hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can see and hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can see and hear me. Just want to see. You know what I mean? It's still glitching. Let me try something else. Hold on 1 second, y'all. All right, the glitching should stop on TikTok now. So we good on Instagram. We're good on YouTube, Facebook, Riff, Rumble. I think TikTok, we just waiting on TikTok to come back up. TikTok should be good now. If that's better, put a 1 in the chat on TikTok. Everywhere else, they say they good. We'll wait for the TikTok family to say that they good, and then we'll keep this party going. All right, we back good again. All right, we got action. We got action. We got action. The last place that I think we stopped at, we were talking about borrowing the actual money from the life insurance policy. So I'll go back to the life insurance policy. So I done set with the life insurance broker. They done structure my policy where I can have my full $50,000 go into that policy in a year. I can borrow from it every 30 days. So initially what's going to wind up happening in this scenario, the same way when you get your money from your job, it touch your bank account first. And then secondly, it pays your bills. Well, mine's going to be a little bit different. It's going to touch my bank account first as normal. And before it start paying stuff, it's going to go into my life insurance policy. And then it's going to come out of my life insurance policy through a loan to pay my bills. You get it? Why am I doing it that way? Because when I put money into that policy, it's going to get compound interest daily tax free that I can borrow against and pay myself back with interest. And even when I borrow that money, the money is still inside of the policy getting compound interest daily tax free. So in this scenario, I'm borrowing $40,000, but I still got that full $50,000 in my policy getting compound interest daily tax free. This is why you deal with life insurance policies that have living benefits and death benefits. Don't let this stuff go over your head. So I'm gonna put that full 50,000 in. Every 30 days, I'm gonna be taking the money out, putting it back in, taking it out, putting the money back in, taking it out, putting the money back in. It ain't gonna be the full 50,000. It's gonna be whatever that $50,000 come out to, which is realistic, somewhere around about what, $4,500 a month, something like that. That's gonna be coming out, going in, coming out, going in, coming out, going in. You get it? All right. Hopefully y'all got it. So as I'm doing this, I done got the cover of the biggest whole life insurance policy I can afford. I got 50 grand going into this policy every year. So the first year that 50 grand going in there, let's just say I'm getting 5% off of that money. That means that first year I'm getting $2,500 off of that money. The second year, it ain't 50,000 in that policy. The second year that I put that full 50,000 in there, it's 100,000 in there, plus the 2,500 from the previous year. This year, that 100 grand got 5%. That's $5,000. So that's $7,500 that they went in that policy they made. So I got 100,000 seven. I got $107,500 in that policy. That third year, it ain't 100 grand in there. It's 150 in there, plus whatever compound interest. You get it? Don't let this stuff go over your head. Watch this. So when I put that 50 grand in, I'm borrowing 40 out. I got the biggest whole life insurance policy I can afford now. I already covered my basic living expenses. We're going to talk about that a little bit now. And I just got land left. So with that $40,000 that I got left, the only thing that I got to cover is whatever basic living expenses I have and buying land. Now, what basic living expense I would have? Maybe I got some car insurance I got. Maybe. The car I ain't got is, at my rate, I'm sure it was a piece of a car, right? No car payment. I have to get it fixed every 2 weeks. But it's a piece of a car with some liability insurance on it. Maybe some little clothes here and there for the kids. So out of that 40 grand that I borrowed back, I'm gonna take somewhere around about $12,000 out of that 40 grand to cover basic living expense. That's about $1,000 a month. That's more than enough to cover the stuff that my two boys need, because I ain't buying that for me. I'm getting it out the mud. Out of that $40,000, I took $12,000 for my basic living expenses. The $40,000 went into my big old whole life insurance policy. Really was 50, so that's cool. That leaves me with a smooth $28,000. With that $28,000, I'm gonna take 3 grand and have it to the side just for emergencies, because I want to make sure I can do a little different stuff for like birthdays, Christmas, and stuff like that for the boys. You know what I mean? And for the mom, that 25 grand. What am I gonna do with that $25,000? I'm gonna go find me 5 acres of land for $25,000. And before somebody say you can't even find an acre of land for $25,000, I know. That's why I said five. You're not buying land in no major city. You're buying land 30 to 45 minutes outside of the major city. And as I said from the beginning, you can find land in the United States of America for $5,000 or less, 1 acre, 30 to 45 minutes outside of the major city. All them places where somebody say, don't nobody want to live all the way out there, I'm going to get it. Because I got a plan. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy 5 acres of land every year. 50 grand going into my whole life insurance policy, the biggest one I can afford. $10,000, $12,000 is going into my basic living expenses. That's what's happening every year, like clockwork. Y'all don't see how my life just changed? My life just changed forever. Notice I ain't talked about going and get no using my credit that I done fixed to go get no loans. Notice I ain't talking about going to find no old lady. I don't care nothing about getting out there in the field. It's expensive to date anyway. I'm going to be celibate until I find my one. Don't let this stuff go over your head. What you think going to happen after that? I'm going to be in this situation, let's call it 5 years. Mama okay because she getting $1,300 a month from me? Well, yeah. Mama getting $1,300 a month from me. So she happy. She don't want me to go nowhere. Plus, she's getting older, and we're gonna take care of mama. Cause that's what the boys do. Girls do it too, but boys do it, right? We're gonna take care of mama. So mama okay with it. All the hours that I'm off work, on the weekends, if I gotta run errands for the builder, I'm running errands for them for the next 5 years for free. I'm doing work for them for free. I'm taking my boys with me sometimes so they can see this stuff, because I want them to learn this stuff too. But majority of the time, my boys are with my mom. She want the company. She like playing with her grandsons, like them being there with her. So we living it up for the next 5 years. In 5 years, what do you think gonna happen? In 5 years, I will own 25 acres of land. I ain't talking about no loans. Free and clear. An acre of land. Huh? Hold on, y'all. I gotta take that. One of the properties. Something about a water portal. All right, bet. All right. We'll knock that out. I got to take care of that soon. All right. So, an acre of land without a property on it, property tax ain't gonna cost you more than $50 a year. So for 25 acres, $50 a year, if my math serves me, correctly, what's that? 5, that's 25, that's 5, that's 2. That's $750 a year for property taxes. Yeah, I know it's crazy, man. We got to make that happen. We ain't got no choice, right? This is what it is. So we got to make that happen. So I got that covered. I got 5 acres that I own, free and clear. I ain't stressing it. It's been 5 years. In 5 years, I'm officially a licensed builder. Just FYI. In 5 years, in my life insurance policy, I will easily have $300,000 in that policy that I can borrow against and pay myself back with interest. Y'all don't see how my life just changed? From I was bringing home $40,000 a year, single as a dollar bill, 2 kids that live with me, on Section 8, 315 credit score, had to move back with my mama, had to work that out. Y'all don't see how my life just changed? This is about to get good. So what do you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna borrow that $300,000 from my life insurance policy that I'm gonna pay back with interest to myself. With that 300 grand, I'm gonna take, let's call it an acre of land of the 25 acres that I own. And since I'm a licensed builder, I'm gonna build me, let's call it with that 300 grand, a duplex. Yep, a nice little duplex. 2,600 square foot. As a person that then built 29 homes out of his own pocket, whatever the value of the home is, it normally take half of the amount to build a property. So if I take 300 grand and build this duplex, I got a property easily worth $600,000. That's going to depend on the area, sure. But that's really what the math breaks down to be. It's almost scary to think about that. So if I take that 300 grand and I take an acre of land and I build me a nice, beautiful duplex, I got a property that's built 300 grand worth 600,000. What you think I'm gonna do at this point? This is gonna get crazy. What you think I'm gonna do? Not gonna sell it. Oh, what do you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna rent it out. Y'all tell me. A 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, new construction apartment, 30 minutes outside of the city. How much is the rent? I know here in Georgia, you spending 3 grand. You easily spending 3 grand. Like clockwork. That's an easy, I don't know what the rent is where y'all live at, but that's what it is here in Georgia. Let's call it $2,500. We don't want to be selfish, right? The rent ain't gonna be $2,500 in 5 years. It's easily gonna be $3,250. It's easily gonna be $3,250. So what do you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna charge $3,000 on the right, $3,000 on the left. That's $6,000 a month that I'm getting for this rental property. What do you think I'm gonna do after that? That's right. Now it's time to go to the bank and put it in debt. I'm gonna put a mortgage on it. I got a property worth $600,000. The bank gonna say you don't owe no money on this property. This property free and clear, and you got tenants up in here. You an investor. You are an investor. We gonna need 20% down. 20% of $600,000 is $120,000. It's a good thing I got that in equity. It means that the bank is going to give me a mortgage of $480,000. Who's going to get that $480,000? You. Tax free, that your tenant about to be paying back. Uh-oh. That means I got my 300 grand that it took me to build a property, plus an extra $180,000 on top of it. Tax free. This is going to get wild. How much is the mortgage on $480,000? Man, I'm going to be on the high end. Let's say your mortgage payment $4 grand. And that's high. It's probably somewhere closer to like 33, 3,400. Let's call it $4 grand. I don't care. Cost me $4 grand a month. The tenants are paying me $6,000 a month. That means $4,000 going to the mortgage. The other $2,000, it ain't taxed out the gate. Why? You got to get what's called a return on your capital first. You know, the $120,000 in equity that you put down, that 2K ain't taxed until you get that 120,000 back. Hopefully y'all catch that. What does that mean, right? That means, okay, I'm good. You might have to go out and come back in. That means that I got 480,000 in this hand, $2,000 in this hand. Y'all don't see how my life just changed? Y'all don't see how my kids' life just changed? My mom, my dad, my brother, my sister. And we started with bringing home 40 grand a year, 315 credit score, single father of two, had to move back in with my mama on Section 8. Y'all don't see how my life just changed? Don't worry, I'll keep going. I'll keep going. I'll keep going. What do you think I'm going to do after this? I got 24 more acres left. I'm only going to do this 25 times. Wait, if I do this 25 times, I'm putting 300 in. I'm getting 480 back. That's an extra $180,000 every time I do this. Somebody put out their calculator because I can't do the math on this real quick. But 180,000 times 25, what does that number breaks down to be? 2 would be 3.6. 5 will wind up being 40. So that's 40. That's an extra $4 million tax free that I'm getting back. That my tenant's paying back. If I do this 25 times and I'm getting my 300 back plus an extra 180,000 every time I do this, that's $4 million that I'm getting back tax free. Tell me what jobs y'all got making this type of money. Tell me what business y'all got going on where y'all making this type of bread. I'm listening. I'm all ears. I gotta hear it. Somebody help me understand this because maybe I'm tripping. I just generated $4 million that I got back. That's on top of my investment that I was putting in to build the properties. And it's tax free. With this wild scenario y'all gave me, and y'all just got it for free. That's what's wild about this stuff. It didn't take all the money in the world. In fact, we didn't have no money when we started this process. I didn't have to go out and network with 100 million people to learn this stuff. Had to be at these galas. I ain't have to get on the gram and show out. Think. That's ultimately what this is about. $4 million tax free. Nobody hears this stuff though. $4 million tax free. It's game over, y'all. You off to the races. You can start your journey doing everything. And there's more. You remember that $2,000 that you were getting that ain't taxed until you get that return on capital first? You know, that 120 grand of equity? You also getting that 25 times as well. If my math serves me correctly, if I carry that over, that's an extra $50,000 a month on top of the $4 million. Tell me again what jobs, what business y'all got where y'all making this type of bread. I'm listening. I'm all ears. I gotta hear it. People don't really hear it. People don't really understand, do they? $4 million in his hand, 50 grand a month. Maybe I'm bugging. Maybe my sound went out. Y'all don't see how y'all life just changed? If you understand what I just explained, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't understand, put a 2 in the chat. Maybe I'm tripping. And I know the internet been doing some crazy stuff, so I want to make sure we hear. Because maybe I'm bugging. And these are the things that I be talking about, right? The information you just got from me, You can get excited about it all you want. Go research it. And once you go research it, once you realize this stuff is legit, go apply it. I don't make money off of you doing that. I don't make a dime off of you doing that. The only people that benefit in this scenario is you. That's how confident I am in what I do, y'all. I don't have to look for people to make money. That's the real gift. I ain't got to get on here and tap dance nobody and do all that other stuff because it ain't how I make my money. It's a scary thought. Just imagine $4.4 million in his hand and 50 grand a month. You don't see how your life changed? You don't think I'm going back to change my mama life, my brother life, my sister life, my dad life, my kids life, my nephews, you don't think I'm changing these people? I'm gonna change their life. And there's more. On top of the $4 million, on top of the 50 grand a month. There's more. That $120,000, that 20% you had to put down in equity, you also getting that 25 times as well. If my math serves me correctly, and I could be off, that is $2.550 million. So $2.5 million. I'm just gonna round down. On top of that's on top of the 50 grand a month. That's on top of the $4 million. This stuff is not complicated, y'all. You're just overthinking. So look, I gotta go take care of this property. We got a property that my wife just texted me, and I don't know if it was a bad rain or something like that, but something must have burst. So in front of the property, it's a little puddle. So I gotta go take care of that. Poor little tink tink. I gotta go take care of it. I'm like, what the heck did happen? This is a new property. So something happened to where something ain't feeding right. So we gotta go and get that right. So look, I gotta get up off of here. I hope y'all enjoyed what you enjoyed from this live. I hope you take what you take. Go do your research. That's what I'm gonna tell you. Go do your research. Go do your research. Go do your research. Once you realize that what I'm saying is legit, apply it. If you realize I don't know what I'm talking about, don't come back to my live talking about I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't want to hear that shit. Keep it to yourself. The other thing is to all the legacy builders over there at Zabo103TV.com. I'm probably going to try to get live later on, going out here to check out this property with this little puddle. So I'm going to try to get live out there so y'all can kind of see that. Those are the people that are subscribed to Zabo103TV.com. If you're not subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. We got about a week and a half. The app will be developed and done and complete. And in the Apple store, in the Android store, Fire Stick TV, Roku TV, we going up. And the book will be out on Tuesday, boys and girls. So definitely tap in. In the meantime, look, y'all be good and have fun being bad. And I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.